Physics class 11 chapter 5 laws of motion. In the last class we have studied Newton's second and third law of motion, momentum, impulse and common forces in mechanics. Today we shall study conservation of momentum and equilibrium of a particle. So let us start with the law of conservation of momentum. The statement is the total momentum of an isolated system of interacting particles is conserved. This means the total momentum of an isolated system is conserved. Consider two bodies A and B with initial momentum PA and PB. So take two bodies A and B. Initial momentum of body A is PA and B is PB. The bodies collide, get apart with momenta P dash A and P dash B respectively. Now these two bodies are colliding with each other and they are getting apart from each other. The momentum changes and the momentum, that is final momentum, will be for body A it will be P dash A and B we take as a P dash B. By the second law of motion. Now we know the second law of motion is applied force is proportional to the change in the momentum. So we can say F is equal to delta P by delta T. If you transfer delta T over here, what you get is F into delta T equal to delta P. Now let us apply for our situation. FAB delta T is equal to change in the momentum of particle A. So final momentum of particle A is P dash A minus the initial, that is PA. So P dash A minus PA. Similarly, FBA delta T equal to for the particle B. So final momentum for particle B is P dash B minus initial momentum is PB. So write PB. Okay. Now by the third law of motion we know that these two forces should be equal and opposite. So that means FAB is equal to minus of FBA, right? So let us write here. See, if I write here delta T, it will cancel each other. So I will write directly the forces. Okay, so you write delta T, you don't write directly, write FAB. Okay, so write FAB from here, P dash A minus PA and minus FBA. FBA is this much, so P dash B minus PB. Sorry, I have missed out the negative sign. Okay, this negative sign remains here, right? So you put here minus sign and FBA, that is P dash B, which become negative, and because of this minus will become positive. So this will be plus, right? So here minus, because of this minus P dash B, okay, and this minus, because of this minus, becomes plus, and this write as a PB, right? Now this negative term you transfer over here, right? So it becomes positive. So here what you get is P dash A plus this you are transferring, which is negative, becomes plus P dash B equal to, now this negative of PA transfer over here, it becomes positive, right? So we get here PA and this plus PB is here, so plus PB. So what we have got is here P dash A plus P dash B equal to PA plus PB. So we can say that, which shows that the total final momentum of the isolated system equals its initial momentum. So this is a final momentum equal to the initial momentum, right? So that is what the law of conservation. See, you can read once again so it will be more clear to you. The total momentum of an isolated system of interacting particles is conserved. Okay, we can see that is conserved. This is final momentum equal to the initial momentum. Next we have got equilibrium of a particle. Equilibrium of a particle in mechanics is the situation when the net external force on the particle is zero. So if a particle is in equilibrium, then the net external force on that particle is zero, or you can say the vector sum of the forces on the particle is zero. If two forces F1 and F2 act on a particle, equilibrium requires F1 equal to minus F2. That is, the two forces on the particles must be equal and opposite. So suppose you have got a particle on this two forces are acting. Then if the particle is in equilibrium, that means the forces are opposite, equal and opposite. So that is F1 equal to minus of F2, or you can say the vector sum is 0. That is F1, if you transfer over here, it becomes plus F2 equal to 0. I have drawn the figure over here. You can see here is a particle at P. Okay, and this is a force F1 and this is force F2. Both are, since the point is in equilibrium, so you can see they are in equal magnitude and are in opposite direction. Okay, this one is coming over here, the arrow shows the direction, and this is over here. Okay, similarly if you are taking three forces, okay, so for three forces, so I have written here equilibrium under three concurrent forces F1, F2 and F3 requires that the vector sum of the three forces is 0. So if there are three forces acting on a particle and the particle is in equilibrium, that means the vector sum is 0. Here also vector sum is 0, because if you transfer this over here, it becomes F1 minus F2 equal to 0. So this mathematically F1 plus F2 plus F3 equal to 0. Okay, in this figure you can see here is the particle, here is the body. On this there are three forces F1, F2 and F3. Right, now if I draw parallel line to F1, that is this much, okay, and parallel line to F2, that is this one, and if you draw common diagonal from this initial point from here, okay, from the particle, so if you draw, so this will be equal and opposite to the force F3. So this will be the result, this which you are getting, this is resultant of F1 and F2, right? We know that this is by parallelogram law of vector addition, that this diagonal will give you the resultant of F1, F2. So this is the resultant of F1, F2, which will be equal and opposite to this third force, that is F3. Okay, so this again, this diagram we can draw in a triangle form. Here see, this is force F1, this is F2 and this is F3, and all three have got the same direction, because you can see the arrow shows the direction, the arrow are in the same direction, so it is in the same direction. This F1 plus F2 plus F3 equal to 0 if you want to write in the component form. Okay, since they are vectors, we can write in the component form. Okay, so in the component form also they will be 0, that is x component sum will be 0 and y component sum will be 0 and z component sum will be 0. So we can write this value as f1x plus f2x plus f3x equal to 0. This is x component form. In y will be f1y plus f2y plus f3y equal to 0. In z component form, f1z plus f2z plus f3z equal to 0. A particle is in equilibrium under the action of forces F1, F2, F3 up to Fn if they can be represented by the sides of a closed n-sided polygon with arrows directed in the same sense. Okay, so for these three forces I have drawn the triangle here. This is a triangle and this is also polygon, right, because it has got more than two sides. Right, so see, all have got the same direction, the arrow shows the direction, this is in this direction, this same direction, right? So this also shows that the vector sum of these three forces is 0. If you have got four forces, then you draw the quadrilateral. Okay, if you have got five forces, then pentagon, and it will have the all the vectors will have got the same direction. Okay, so that is what the statement says here, right? Next we have got example 5.6. A mass of 6 kg is suspended by a rope of length 2 meters from the ceiling. A force of 50 Newton in the horizontal direction is applied at the midpoint P of the rope as shown. What is the angle the rope makes with the vertical in equilibrium? Take G is equal to 10 meters per second square. Neglect the mass of the rope. I have drawn the figure over here. This is the figure which is given in your textbook. Okay, this is the ceiling. Okay, this part is the ceiling. There is a rope, that is, this is the string or the rope, which is 2 meter. So and P is the midpoint. So since P is the midpoint, I have taken this as 1 meter and this is 1 meter. There is a tension T1 over here, and there is one horizontal force, that is 50 Newton in the horizontal at point P, at the midpoint, right? And there is a weight of 6 kg suspended from this rope, okay, from here, so 60 kg. So downward there will be the force mg, right? And this is W, this is the weight, mass of the body or the block. Mg is downward force, m is the mass, that is 6 kg, and g is the acceleration due to gravity, that is 10 meter per second square. Okay, and this T2 and this mg will be in equilibrium, so they will be equating each other. Okay, and since they have said that at point P also is equilibrium, so the force, there are three forces, one is T1, this is T2, and this horizontal force, they are in equilibrium. Okay, at W they are in equilibrium, that I have written here. Okay, I have drawn here, here this is the point W, this is in equilibrium, so it is equilibrium, upper force is T2 and the lower force is mg is 60 Newton. Okay, we have to calculate here, and here I have drawn the point P, which is in equilibrium, which has got three forces. Okay, one is T1, tension T1, tension T2, and this horizontal force 50 Newton. So T1, T2 and 50 Newton, right? So these are three forces at P, but this is in equilibrium. Okay, so I am resolving this T1 in two components, considering this angle is theta. Okay, this angle is theta, so this angle is also theta, and that theta you have to find. So this angle theta is there. If I resolve this T1 in its component form, then this will be, you have to draw perpendicular from here on this vertical and perpendicular here on this horizontal line, right? If you draw on horizontal, this will be the T1 sin theta, which will be equating 50 Newton. Okay, and this will be T1 cos theta, which will be equating T2. Okay, since this is theta, this will be T1 cos theta and this will be T1 sin theta. Okay, we are resolving this T1 into the component form. Okay, you know this, you have done in the last chapter. Okay, so we are resolving this, right? So now let us find, first we'll find this T2, which I have written here 60 Newton. We shall calculate that, and then we will calculate T1 also, and we will calculate the angle theta. Consider the equilibrium of the weight W. So this point, okay, and that is here in free diagram. Okay, this diagram. So T2 is equal to mg. As I said, this T2 and this mg, the weight are in equilibrium. That means they are equating each other. So whatever is the T2 value will be mg. So T2 and mg are same. So mg, m is the mass, that is 6, and g is the acceleration due to gravity that they have asked us. They have told us to take 10 meter per second square. So this is 10. 6 into 10 is 60 Newton. Therefore, I have written here 60 Newton directly. So T2 will be equal to 60 Newton. Consider the equilibrium of point P under the action of the three forces, tension T1 and T2, and the horizontal force 50 Newton. Okay, which I was telling you here, that at point P, this is the point P, and this angle is theta. Then it is at equilibrium, given us equilibrium, but there are three forces. Okay, one is this 50 Newton, T2 tension and T1 tension. Okay, this T1, since this is vertical and this is horizontal, so we are not resolving that, but this T1 is not vertical or horizontal, therefore I have to resolve that. Okay, so this is theta, therefore I have resolved this as a T1 cos theta and this as a T1 sin theta. And remember that T1 cos theta will be in equilibrium with T2, that means these two will be same. Okay, and T1 sin theta and 50, they are in balancing each other, right? These two are balancing each other, these two are balancing, that's why P is at equilibrium. So this will be T1 sin theta equal to 50 Newton. So I have written here T1 cos theta is equal to T2. Okay, from the figure you can see T1 cos theta equal to T2, and T2 value, how much it is? T2 value we found here, it is 60 Newton. So I am writing here T1 cos theta equal to T2 equal to 60 Newton and T1 sin theta equal to 50 Newton. Okay, because they are also balancing each other. T1 sin theta equal to 50 Newton. We can write this because they are in equilibrium. Okay, let us take the ratio of T1 sin theta by T1 cos theta. Okay, I have written here T1 cut, sin by cos gives you tan theta. T1 sin theta value is 15, so 50, and T1 cos theta is equal to T2, that is 60, so 60. 0 cut, here tan theta, right? 10 transfer over here, so you get theta equal to tan inverse 5 by 6. Now if you take this in this diagram, theta here, then 5 will be opposite side, divide by adjacent side 6. Then if you apply the Pythagoras, you will get the value of the hypotenuse, that is under the square root 5 square 25 plus 6 square 36, that will give you 61, square root 61. So this is tan inverse 5 by 6, this value is 40 degrees, so theta equal to 40 degrees, so that is what first answer. Now let us find the tension T1. Okay, T2 already we found. So T1, how shall we find? Square this and add. Okay, so T1 square cos square theta plus T1 square sin square theta equal to, this side also you have to square, 60 square plus 50 square. Take common T1 square, so here remains cos square theta plus sin square theta. 60 square is 3600 plus 50 square is 2500. Add up together you get 6100. Cos square theta plus sin square theta is 1, so here you get T1 square, and take a square root on both the sides, so T1 equal to, under the square root, this I am writing as 61 into 100. Square root of 100 is 10 and 61 keep as it is, so 10 root 61, right? So you have got tension T1 as 10 root 61. The angle theta equal to 40 degree. Okay, that is what they have asked us to find, and we also found the tension T2, and that value is 60 Newton. So we'll keep this much for today. Thank you very much.